Hi, I'm Joe.
And I'm Peter.
And this is our final lab project.
For our final lab project, we decided to make a mechanical 2D scrolling video game.
Alright, so this is our video game in a box Pokemon version. Over here we have a little lever. It's just a simple pencil. It'll open and close the box when the game starts and when the game ends, whether you win or lose. Besides that, we have a conveyor belt here that's going to keep moving, and it'll eventually go faster and faster as the game goes on. And the goal is to avoid the tall grass, the Pokeballs, and Team Rocket. You want to avoid them because underneath Pikachu is a magnetic sensor, and under these guys is a magnet. So when Pikachu goes over them, the magnetic sensor is going to, a voltage is going to be created inside of it, and it's going to get sent through the wires that are hooked up to Pikachu, back to the stepper motors, and through all the breadboard and all of our wiring we have. And just so we can visually see this, we hooked up a DMM just for so we can look and see that happen. Underneath all this is kind of our infrastructure and how we built it. You can see it's a lot of Legos to hold it together and just kind of give it a foundation. You can see our arm here is what is responsible for moving Pikachu. What's responsible for moving the lever, the box to open and close, is just this pencil, and it's connected to, hooked up to a stepper motor. Same with this conveyor belt. We have a stepper motor that is responsible for controlling that as well.
So coming out of the back of our box, we have two stepper motor controls. One for the lever and one for the conveyor belt. Both of those are hooked up to this DAC. And the DAC is going to move the motor that opens the box, then the motor that moves the conveyor belt, and finally the motor to close the box. This DAC is also hooked up to a circuit over here that's really simple. There's wires everywhere, but it's a really simple circuit of just an 850 ohm resistor and then our magnetic sensor. And our magnetic sensor we soldered to some cables so that we could put it into the box and underneath Pikachu. We're also reading what the DAC is seeing on the DMM just so that we can see it in real time, but that's just for our sake, and the reading actually goes through the DAC and to the VI.
Here's a quick overview of how our VIs work. We actually have two of them running in order to move this box. On the left we have the front panel of the VI that runs the motor and the music, and on the right we have the VI that opens and closes the box, keeps track of your score, and tells you whether or not you've won or lost. Let's look at the left one quickly. The left one allows you to control how quickly you move from a slow conveyor belt speed to a fast conveyor belt speed, and it also plays the music of the Pokemon theme song. It's very simple. But we were not able to run it at the same time as all the other stuff we needed running, and that's why we have it separate. Our other front panel right here has got a lot more going on. It tells you how long you've been playing and how much time you have left till you win. A big button to tell you when it's over, and a status up here to tell you what your score was in comparison to other people's score. This score is saved in a data file and read in at the very start. Depending on how well you do, your name will get input here and all the scores will be bumped down. We're only keeping track of 3, so if anyone were to replace these scores, Rory would get bumped out. Right here you can control the game length, which is different from the toughness. The toughness again is how quickly the conveyor belt reaches a max speed. And the game length is how long you've been playing. You enter your name here and your score is shown up here. Those two combine and will go into the high score.
To better understand how the VI makes the high score list for a video game in a box, let's take this program I developed in C++. This program will read in a data file where the first column contains integers and the second column contains characters. The integers would be the player's score, and the characters is the player's name themselves. It will then sort those two columns from the highest integer to the lowest along with the characters matched with that value. So the first thing I did was I created a structure and I named it high scores. Inside the structure, we're going to have the score and the player's name. The player's name can be up to 50 characters long, but we can change that to however big or however small that we want. The next thing that we did is we initialized some values and the number of players. There's 10 players in our game, or in the data sheet, so we made this 10. That can be changed as well. And this right here, this opens the data sheet and reads it, and it determines just the original list and then prints it out. And we can see that here in the notepad itself. We have a big scrambled list of names and their score that they got. We can see Rory has the highest, while Dan has the lowest. So now we're going to try and figure that out and get Rory on top and Dan on the bottom. And this can be done with some for loops and an if statement and some of the structure values that we declared above. How this works is rather simple. We read in an integer value and its corresponding character. We then ask if that score is smaller than the next one. If so, we want to swap that and move the next score above it. We do this for each and every player, and this will sort it. So there's 10 players, so this action will be done 10 times. And then here we just print off the sorted high scores. And if we run the program, we can see this. We have our original list up here, the scrambled, and we can compare that back to our notepad. It matches. And then if we go below, we have the sorted high scores, and as we can see, Rory's on top and Dan's on the bottom. And that's kind of how the VI constructs the high score diagram that we used.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was.
Oh, Pikachu. I think you may have come down too early.
Oh, I was like right here. We can't clear it. There we go.
Saying his head and his feet. Yeah.
Yeah, the sensor's on the bottom of his feet.
Epic fail.
Videotaping.
It's like the old racer games. We could lean ahead a little bit.
I may have made that a little bit too easy this time. Oh,
We got a
crap.
pro over here.
Oh, you made it.
Made it?
Yeah, because
Well
I
done.
was watching it. I changed it, so it had to be more of a direct hit.
Nice.
Oh, okay, it goes this way. You got this. Is that a weed leaf?
No, it's tall grass.
Oh. This is so easy.
Wait a minute. It might be too easy. It's not reading anything, and he went right over that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Beast mode. Rory.
It's not reading anything.
He's winning.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Rory, you got it.
Rory's beast mode.
You're on the home stretch.
I'm fired!